Hello. Sorry that this video quality is atrocious. Um, the light sucks. I just filmed a video with my iPhone that I'm uploading now. But I also wanted to continue along on another video I did about where I was answering questions from the New York Times article, The 36 Questions That Lead to Love. And like I said in the other video, no, I'm not trying to fall in love with you. I feel like these questions are really good at getting to the root of vulnerability with a person, and I think that that's the best way to get to know someone, and vulnerability also happens to be a way that people fall in love. And I think that everyone should desire to have a more intimate relationship with everyone in their lives, because then we'll just all feel more comfortable and like we could be more ourselves around people. And so that's something that I'm very passionate about, is sharing my vulnerability and encouraging vulnerability amongst other people. So I'm going to link the article below, and I'm also going to link my previous video below. I answered questions 1 through 6, and I'm going to start on, I answered questions 1 through 5, and I'm going to start at number 6 and just sort of see how long I feel like talking. Number 6 is, if you are able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? I would absolutely want the body of a 30-year-old. Like, I feel like that's a no-brainer. I feel like I'm obsessed with self-growth and intellectual capacity growth, and I can't imagine my mind just sort of hitting capacity at 30. Like, I understand that whenever people ask this question, it's because 30-year-olds are more likely to sort of be optimistic and take risks and things like that than a 90-year-old brain, but I'm not like most people. I want to continue to grow, and I expect to grow each year. And so I would absolutely want the body of a 30-year-old so that I can have a greater health to explore more of the world and continue evolving my mind. I think that's an easy one. Number 7, do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? No, I do not have a secret hunch. Although I will just say that a lot of people in my family have died of a heart attack or an aneurysm, and I'm kind of hoping that it's one of those things, because I don't think that I want to know. I don't want to have cancer or any sort of terminal disease where I'm aware that I'm gonna die. I feel like I would drive myself crazy. I really just hope that I die quickly. Obviously, everyone wants to die in their sleep, but everyone wants to die in their sleep when they're 95 or 100 years old. But I do think I'll probably have a heart attack or an aneurysm or something, because I have an overactive heart and an overactive mind. Haha. Yeah. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. Now, I'm assuming this has to do with the partner that you would be taking this test, or that you would be answering these questions with, and so I'm going to switch this and talk about my audience, the people that are probably watching this. Things that we have in common. Even though I don't literally know who is going to watch this, I will say it's interesting to think about what qualities and what sorts of people probably watch these videos, and I would say that probably people that are interested in self-growth enough to the point that we are aware that we are not at the place where we could be someday, and aspire to reach some of those parts of ourselves that we don't feel like we fully mastered. a lot of you are probably interested in personality type, which I think that people that are interested in personality type want to understand themselves and other people better, and they're curious, and they're willing to look at things that might not necessarily have a straightforward proof or a straightforward answer. And I think that those sorts of people that are willing to entertain the thought of personality type are a lot more curious than other people, because they're willing to maybe discover something new. I don't know, and people that want to get along better with other people and want to understand themselves better. Those are amazing qualities. Okay. 9. For what in your life do you feel the most grateful for? Right now, I'm thankful for my job and my relationships, and relationships that are growing. But specifically, I just feel very grateful that I feel like my life is stabilizing a little bit. I feel like I am building more of a foundation for myself of people that I see frequently, as opposed to, there was quite a bit when I first got my job, when I first graduated college. I was sort of like scrounging around. Well, really, for like a whole year, I was like waiting to move out, and I've lived on my own since the end of June now, and I've got a budget in order. I like know what sort of foods I like to buy for myself and cook for myself. I got in a car wreck, and then I had to get a new car, and I am so close with the registration process. I need to go back to the DMV, but anyway, I've got that worked out. I'm liking my job. Like, I'm finally feeling like things are finally starting to work out for me, and don't want to jinx anything. Oh, and I saved up to get a desk, just like a cheap ass desk from Target, but it's better than nothing. Love Target. Put it together myself. I'm basically a desk builder. Very handy. Just kidding. I'm not handy at all. Yeah, I'm just grateful that things seem to be stabilizing and that I feel more comfortable, and I'm kind of starting to have more of a routine about how I live my life, and waking up earlier, and just, adult things. 10. If you could change anything about the way that you were raised, what would it be? I don't think I would change anything about the way I was raised. And I'm always the sort of person where if you ask me, like, what are your biggest regrets? I don't have any regrets. I don't. Because I am a thoughtful enough person that every single time I make a decision, I know that I'm doing the best that I can with the information and the maturity level that I have at that time. There's never once been a time in my life where I've been like, I should have known better. And it's not to say that I'm so great and that I just know everything and always make the best decisions, but I honestly think everyone is always doing the best they can all the time and always making the best decisions that they know how to at the time. And I don't really think it helps to go back and try and see if you can change anything, because I'd much rather go forward and try and focus on improving myself. And I know that's not really answering the question, but I don't know. I feel like I had the perfect childhood. I have a sister who is 2.5 years younger than me, and I love her to death. I always got anything I wanted. Well, not any. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and say, like, I was definitely not the most privileged person in the world, but I also did not have anything really to complain about, and I had family around, and I don't know, I really, I couldn't change, I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I changed that. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more questions. Oh, okay. Number 11. Take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible. I'm going to completely get rid of the as much detail as possible. And instead I'm going to give myself the challenge of as concisely as possible. Because if I can't, like, I can't do my whole life story. That's ridiculous. We'll say I was born. Do I want to give my life story on the internet? So I was born in the suburb of Kansas City, Italian-American family. I have a sister, a lot of cousins around, a lot of family around. Was liked dance and theater and choir and was a total drama queen. I I'm gonna leave out parts that I don't feel comfortable sharing, but I don't know. I just made a video that I'm uploading now about what it's like to be called weird. That was kind of my life story. Sorry, I don't want to keep like being like pausing and everything, but grew up with a very influential family. I was always taught by my dad like that you can do anything you want to do if you set your mind to it. I felt very empowered as a child. I went swimming a lot. My grandma had a pool, and it was great. I felt like I had a lot of issues with friends. I had a lot of friends ditch me like every single year in elementary school. They'd be like moving on to someone cooler than me, and I like chased boys in the playground that I thought were cool and wanted to be friends with, and they just would run away from me. And my crush laughed in my face in middle school when I asked him out, and in high school, again, I was still involved in choir and theater. I stopped doing dance. I had a stronger group of friends in high school. I did speech and debate. I found a good group of friends, and enjoyed high school. I did goofy stuff like would go with one of my friends to like Walmart, and she would like wear a penguin suit, and we would like take pictures with a bunch of random shit and like put them on Facebook like LOL hanging out with so and so, and like we had like made up language, and we would like tie-dye shirts all the time. And I didn't drink in high school. We just like drank Diet Coke and like stayed up late. I had like sleepovers with like 6 of my friends. We would like be in shows together and choir, and we like made a rap mix that is like somewhere on YouTube. I don't know. And I remember like really liking Miranda Sings on YouTube, and I like made a video of me impersonating her. And in college, I decided I was wanting to go to school in vocal performance, and then I didn't get into the school I wanted in Chicago, and so I decided to go to Mizzou because that was closer to home, and also like couldn't afford to just do the application fee to every single school that looked interesting. I had to pick and choose and what was doable, and so journalism was my backup, even though Mizzou's journalism school is one of the best, if not the best, in the country. It's often ranked number one in lists. I was like, I'm just going to go with that. I think I always like kind of wanted to be the best, and so I kind of just went with that, and I always liked writing and stuff. I always liked communicating, so it seemed like it made sense. I was in like a girl band with people, my roommate and a couple friends from the dorm my freshman year, and college was fun. I finally understood that I was attractive in college because nobody liked me or wanted to date me, like, not until college, like, not until I okay, it's like no guy has ever hit on me until the first moment that I walked into a frat party and there was alcohol involved, and then I was like, oh, now these guys, I guess, finally are like, no. It was like kind of like a culture shock. I don't know, it was kind of like just weird to me that, I don't know. So I did drink in like college, I guess. I don't know, studied journalism, met my best friend, Crystal, who has been in some of my videos, who's an ENFP, and we talk a lot about Myers-Briggs and stuff. I kind of found a good group of people at the journalism school that were pretty intelligent and like-minded, and I was in a relationship with an ENFP who, for a year, who was pretty depressive, and I was just sort of in that relationship too long, and I was totally a martyr and a giver, and even though I was never getting my emotional needs met in a relationship, I still just kept trying and trying because I wanted a boyfriend and because I wanted to make it work, and I felt like it was in my control to make it work, and so I was kind of manipulative in that sense. And but then also, like, when I did try and break up with him, he like tried to kill himself, and so I like had to deal with that, and that was hard. And then I was in a relationship with an INTP who was like my best friend, and then even though I felt like he liked me from the moment that I saw him, he sort of lied to himself for several months, saying that he didn't like me, even though his actions were clearly indicative that he did, because he would just react weirdly, like whenever, if I would be talking to another guy or anything like that, and I felt like I could just see right through him, but that he just was lying to himself. And then when we finally got together, it seemed like there just never was any trust there because he lied to me beforehand. And I would say definitely chemistry, but no compatibility. At least, I don't know. And we finally did get together, and it was pretty toxic, and he was pretty manipulative. And then when we broke up, it was over text and involved, it was like a whole year of aftermath of me trying to seek closure, and then never getting the closure that I felt I deserved. And because but I didn't realize that if he was lying to myself, then how can I expect him to be honest with me? He was just very volatile, and the more I tried to demand the closure that I felt I deserved, like an in-person, like I wanted, like, I'm not into you anymore, and I wanted, like, something more direct. I just wanted, like, to know, like, I think that we don't work because X, Y, and Z. And I would be like, okay, cool. And like moved on. But he just started telling lies about me to our mutual friends, saying that I was going to slash someone's tires that I didn't know, and totally wasn't going to slash tires, and just sort of became really dramatic and really volatile, and gaslighted me a lot, and I felt crazy because I didn't know what was going on, and I was just trying to figure out what I could have done to cause it, and I didn't really understand why, like, he was a completely different person from before. Like, literally, he went from being a hardcore Democrat to a hardcore conservative Republican, and that is just very indicative to me of, like, do you have morals, or do you have, like, or not morals, but, like, do you have, like, values that you stand by? And it's okay to change your opinion, but that's just an example, like, politically of, like, but also, like, personality-wise, like, to me, it just seemed like he just flipped and was, like, a different person, and I still haven't processed how much that hurt me to, like, try and trust someone who then just became a different person, and then called me crazy and told all his friends I was crazy, and crazy for wanting respect. And that's been hard for me, is that I feel like I deserve respect. And right now I'm in a place where I don't want to be around people unless they're going to respect me. But it's really triggering to, like, be called crazy just for having an emotion and being aware of it and expressing it, and then wanting respect and wanting to be treated like a human. But anyway, that happened, and then shortly after that, I found out that I was bisexual, and it was, like, literally really random, and I dated a girl for, like, a few months, like 3 months, and then she broke up with me over text and said that she wanted to be my best friend forever, and then just was too, she was like an ENTP. Like, she sort of, like, was like, I'm sorry, I just need to work on myself, and, like, said she would mail me a book back, and then, like, I never got my book back, and I never heard from her, and even though she said she wanted to be, like, best friends, like, I don't know, that was another thing where I'm like, I'm sort of realizing, I guess I just have trust issues, or I don't really understand, like, what I did to cause certain things, and I'm always analyzing, like, what I did wrong, and how it's like my default to try and figure out how I contribute to issues, and how I contribute to a relationship with a person. But anyway, that happened, and, graduated, and, now basically I'm here. I mean, it's been a year since that. I work at an online publication covering technology, and that's my life story, basically. Cool. Sorry, I didn't realize how uncomfortable that would make me, like, incredibly uncomfortable. I don't really like to give all those details out, and there's still some, like, notable things that I left out, but I guess I fear, like, growing on YouTube and then, like, people finding out what I said about them or something like that, and, like, not, like, I don't know, not communicating the best of my ability. So anyway, my last question, I'm going to do 12. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? I'm going to have to say being able to play the piano. I think that would be amazing. I feel like I would still be making music. I already have a bunch of lyrics, like, ready to go that could be an amazing album, and I always hear songs in my head, and I took piano lessons when I was 8, and then I had to quit because we didn't have a piano. My parents didn't want to buy a piano, and it was dumb. My damn choir, or my damn piano teacher said that I couldn't use a keyboard, which seems like bullshit to me. But anyway, so I quit, and then like I was taking music theory in high school, and so I tried to learn piano again. My I tried to take piano lessons again my senior year of high school, and it was so hard because I like knew how to read music, I knew music theory, I know what it was supposed to sound like by looking at it on the page, and then my fingers just wouldn't do it, and I got frustrated and I stopped because I'm incredibly impatient. And I know I could just start learning it again now, but like I said, I'm really impatient. And I don't know, I guess music, I feel like really, I always say that music was the first thing that ever broke my heart, because deciding that I wasn't going to be able to be doing music was like before college, and that was just really, really, really fucking hard for me. Like, it still breaks my heart. Like, never having a mentor, or I never having any choir coach believe in me. I always felt like I had to believe in myself more than anyone else believed in me, and that was really, really hard. And so I get a lot more impatient and a lot more reactive and emotional when it comes to music, and so at least in the way I'm going, the path that I seem to be taking right now in my life, it seems very unlikely that I would start taking piano lessons, although I wish that I could magically wake up in the morning and be skilled at the piano, because then I would just get a keyboard and make some like electronic synth pop sort of music for myself. But anyway, maybe someday. Thanks for listening, especially if you got it this far. I can't believe that you made it through all of my like slow moving talks about my life story. And oh, and I just realized it says take 4 minutes. I don't think that I did that in 4 minutes, the life story thing. But anyway, thank you for listening. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will continue doing more of these question videos. I really, really appreciate it. Like, oh my god, I can't even imagine why anyone would even, I don't understand why anyone watches this. Because, like, I annoy myself when I talk, and I can't imagine that people want to talk to me. And so it just really means a lot that somebody actually listened to this. So yeah, you're fucking awesome, and have a tremendous week.